Hello my dear Latvian friends, a very good afternoon to all of you, and on behalf of 100 million members of Gayatri Parivar in India, also receive a warm namaste, in fact a boiling namaste. Latvia is like a second home to me, so I must first convey my sincere apologies for not being physically present on this unique congregation of International Day of Yoga event celebration in Riga. I really wanted to be there. I am sorry that I could not be there. And on this occasion, I would like to congratulate all the organizers, speakers, participants of this second International Day of Yoga event in Riga, because all of you, every single person is like a family to us, and your endeavors make us proud, like it is an accomplishment of our own family member. So I would call this event, this historical event, a unique congregation, a remarkable celebration in the Botanical Garden of Riga, as a historical moment, because not only because it is being organized in one of the most beautiful cities of the world, Riga, not only because yoga has now got a day of global commemoration, not only because for the first time we could sense a worldwide solidarity for a cause of unification, which is the real meaning of yoga, but also because if the true significance behind the emergence of such an event could be perceived by every single soul on this planet, then we would be seeing a lasting legacy to emerge from the shores of Yurmala and hills of Sigulda. And there is a reason to actually have a hope like that, because this is a day to remind us of that possibility. One may ask why, what is yoga has to do with it, what yoga would do that can bring the worldwide solidarity. And I would say that the reason to perceive that, because right now we as mankind, we as humanity are passing through a time which can be called only historical, and the collective decision that we would take now would define the course of humanity. This day is here to remind us that just as it happens in yoga, we also have to find a delicate balance, that harmony between comfort and contentment, that balance between excellence and regression, that balance between our external and internal pursuits. And the reason why making this decision has become so paramount now, because without finding such balance, we all now have reached to a point where it would not be possible for us to walk blindly on the path that we have selected for ourselves. To know that we are at the crossroads, we do not have to read any research article in a journal. We do not really have to look through the Facebook. We do not really need to actually check our Twitter feed. We just have to go deep inside us and ask ourselves that we have got now everything, whatever we desired for, but under these glittery surfaces, under these shine and sparkle, under these shining exteriors, why? We have got a life of pain, misery, sorrow and strife. Why? We all are living a life of solitude. Why? We may have million of likes on the Facebook, but we all have got absolutely hollow and empty hearts. What is the reason for that? We have got money, no satisfaction. Prosperity, no contentment. We have got huge houses, but no families. I saw beautiful houses in Yurmala. But where are the values of the family? With millions of rupees, euros or dollars, we can purchase a restaurant, but not hunger. We can have a bed, beautiful bed, golden bed, but not the sleep. We can have huge houses, but no family. And this is the story of each house, each family, each individual of the modern world, where we are fighting. We are literally going against each other to have a life which has no meaning, no purpose. And I sincerely wish, this is the deep wish of my heart, that each of us can have a life as we pretend on the Facebook. Then we would surely have a much contented and a happy world. And this happened because we emphasize more in getting comfort than the contentment. This happened because we always thought that if we could have sensual pleasures, if we could have the satisfaction for the external things, then we could have a very meaningful life, and this deceived us. And this is a time, because of that reason, to find a balance between these two. And that is the real purpose of yoga. Real purpose of yoga is to offer us that delicate balance. The journey of yoga teaches us that before we find everything else, we must find ourselves. Otherwise, the scenery around us would keep changing and we will continue to remain what we are. The word yoga means harmony. In Gita, when the word yoga comes, it says Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. And that means yoga is nothing but the harmony. Yoga is nothing but the balance. Yoga is nothing but the equipoise. So yoga teaches us to center our energy on the refinement of the human consciousness. And the sole purpose of any yogic effort is to accomplish purity of the body, clarity of the mind, and divinity of the consciousness. And this final frontier of human endeavor cannot be achieved without going through a process of transformation, both at the level of individual as well as at the level of society. The process of transformation at the level of individual is the center of all spiritual efforts, and the same process of transformation at the level of society is the center of all cultural attempts. And that is why International Day of Yoga is not only a day of yogic unity, but it is also a day of spiritual and cultural solidarity. And that is why you sitting in the botanical garden of Riga and I sitting in the ashram of Shanti Kunj in Haridwar, we both are celebrating this day, this unique day, this memorable day together. And I remember that Pandit Shriram Sharma Acharya, the groundbreaking scholar of India, Gurudev of this renowned organization, he provided 3 steps for this harmony to be achieved. First was Swasth Sharir, yogasans to make healthy body. Second was Swachh Mana, which means clear mind, to be achieved with the spiritual practices. And third was Sabhya Samaj, civilized society, refined society, to be accomplished by following a path of the yogasana. And he had a hope. He had a hope from us that through these kind of meetings, congregations, celebrations, we would be able to create a new world, a new order. And I sincerely wish that such a transformation can begin from a place like Latvia. If it could begin at one place in the world, it could definitely begin in Latvia, because Latvia is full of those people who have got kindness, compassion, purity, sanctity, sacredness in their heart. And I end now by sharing our hope through the words of John Lennon. All of you would know him. In his famous poem called Imagine, John said, "Imagine that there are no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. I wonder if you can. Imagine no possessions, a brotherhood for man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world, and you may say, I am a dreamer, but I am not the only one. I hope someday you will join us and the world will be as one. And I hope the day that we all are dreaming for is the day of today, and we would start seeing the beginning of a new transformation, new revolution, new ideas, new wisdom, new knowledge, new compassion to emerge from the streets of Riga, from the hills of Sigulda, and from the shores of Yurmala." Thanks to all of you for so patiently listening to me, and a warm namaste again from Shanti Kunj Haridwar, Dev Sanskriti Vishwavidyalaya, India.